So tomorrow I am filming a video for my main channel called Uncharted. Now Uncharted makes adventure style content, and as for tomorrow's video, we're going to be going camping with my 80 series truck, along with another YouTuber, which could be interesting. Now adventure style content doesn't exclusively mean that I just want to go camping all the time. There are several meanings to the word adventure. But as for tomorrow, I'm going camping. So in order to get the best output for tomorrow's shoot, I'm going to be doing 4 forms of preparation. The first one is settling on a style for the video. The second one is storyboarding that video. The third one, I fucking hate this one, is packaging the video based around the storyboarding and the style. And finally, charging my gear. So let's start with the first one. Alrighty. So, now I hope you don't mind, I'm just going to put my microphone on this shirt. It won't sound as good as me holding it, but you'll still be able to hear me well enough. So, in order, oh my god, my camera's about to die. I literally just... Starting over. So in order to settle on a style, there's no point trying to think of something original. Because even if you do theoretically come up with something original, it's basically just undetected plagiarism, because no one is original. Everything that everyone creates is just an iteration of what's already established. So why not just skip that step and just look at what's already established and take inspiration off of that and mold it into something new, something innovative. That's basically the concept of stealing like an artist. Great book, by the way. I will make a daily vlog about that eventually. So I'm going to list out all the movies, all the TV shows, all the YouTube videos which I like, preferably more related to the video that you're making, but just also in general. My pen is about to die. Let's persevere. It's already, oh my god. I'll be back. So far I've just written down a base of like what I would write down for basically every single style sheet that I do. And that is just Disney Pixar, Colt Cohen, Kelly Wacasta, Casey Neistat, and Surf's Up. All of these 5 things, movies slash YouTube videos slash YouTubers, yeah, probably my favorite pieces of content as of right now. Surf's Up, because I feel like that's just one movie that just comes to mind when I think of something outdoorsy, but also like casual to some degree. But then you can go a little bit further and just go onto YouTube and sort of jog your mind a bit. Basically, by the end of this, I just want you to have a really, really full list. Now, of course, you don't have to apply everything on your list, but it's just great to like have it in mind, you know? Okay, so I think I've written down as much as I can for the time being. I mean, my mind is pretty flat. It is 8 p.m. There's only so much I can think about right now, and that's totally fine. What I have on my list is actually pretty solid. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of them are animated movies, which is kind of interesting. I probably wouldn't apply some of these if it wasn't for the type of video that I'm making. But one thing I've also realized is that I need to watch way more films, just in general, like Wes Anderson movies. I'm just gonna write down Wes Anderson in general. Basically, I just wrote down everything that I liked, and now I'm going to write down some film techniques, things very, very specific to these videos slash YouTubers slash filmmakers, which I really like. That makes their video like pop, like that really brings that spark to their video or film. What am I even saying? Are you getting any of this? Are you? For 1, I cannot speak. For 2, I cannot think. And 3, I don't think I'm even writing. I think my writing skills are really terrible as well. It's just a combination of being really tired. But anyways, writing down all the film techniques, every tiny little detail which these films slash YouTubers slash filmmakers apply, that really brings their spark to what they're creating. So, for example, for Pixar, they do such a good job of building a world. Why is that? Why do they do such a good job of building a world? I'd say it's a combination of characterization and a distinct environment. I guess sort of a distinct environment as well as distinct characters. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but that's just how I see Pixar as a whole and why they do such a good job. Of course, there's storytelling as well, but that's just self-explanatory. But yeah, moving on. Colt Cohen, I think his sense of, for one, relatability to nostalgia. as well as his application of magical realism. Alright, here's what I finally settled on. For Surf's Up, we have the characters plus environment, and how that sort of like creates that vibe in a way. Plus they have a restricted perspective. I think that's also important. I think it's best not to show everything. Like, sort of having that mystery adds a lot of intrigue for the audience. Cinematics plus characterization, that's what made the Grand Tour and Top Gear so good. Both of them working hand in hand sort of made the show really interesting, as well as the actual topic itself. Emotion / storytelling through the shots, so the dialogue isn't always as important. Maybe the shots themselves are actually the important part. Of course, everything is important, and everything will be equally treated, but one of them especially is the shot. And finally, purely, is just characterization. The style sheet, that's sort of just getting your mind working, but the most important part is the storyboarding. And through storyboarding, you're able to apply that style. So, let's begin. Now, the thing about storyboarding is that I'm not trying to tell you to plan out your video, plan out what you're going to say, plan out what you're going to do. It's more so anticipating what you're going to do. And through that, try to pick the appropriate shots, dialogue, etc. So then you're not wasting that moment and get the best output. So this is actually really important. And it doesn't take away from the moment by any means. It's more so just making sure that your camera is also taking in the moment while you are as well. So I think a primary theme that I'm going to work off is the fact that I'm in the forest with another YouTuber. And through that, I think I'm going to have a bit of a comedic back and forth with him in a way, because he's actually going to go to the full extreme of trying to like build a shelter out of like the resources that are actually at the campsite. And then there's just going to be me with my nice luxurious 80 series with a tent and all that. I think that contrast is going to be quite funny, but I think playing into the irony that he's like a YouTuber versus me that's just like, what the hell is he doing? That's something that's overarching and can sort of drive the story. This is also the first time that I'm camping with this 80 series truck, so sort of a lack of experience for myself is also something that I can take into account. So I'm just going to write down all the events that are likely going to happen, the shots that I'm going to use, and sort of applying what I said through my style sheet onto this storyboard. Okay, my camera's about to die again, so let's just cut here for when I finish the storyboarding. Alright, so I've written down the entire storyboard for how this video is going to go. Try to keep up because it's a bit not complicated, it's just very messy. So I think for the intro, the primary characters will be this unknown YouTuber, which we haven't seen yet because he's going to be revealed later, but I'm going to show flashes of foreshadowing to who this person actually is. I think that curiosity to who this type of YouTuber is going to be is what's going to hook the people in. And for when he actually reveals himself, when we actually meet up with him, it's going to be quite, what's the word? Grand? Along with that, since it's also my first time using the 80 series truck, there's still a lot of things that I don't know about it. So when we're packing up the truck, that's something we can play into. I'm going to have reoccurring dialogue of this YouTuber that we're going to be meeting up with. We're going to do close-up shots for what's already established in the 80 series Troopy, and wide/handheld shots for what's unknown and what I'm actually discovering in it. Basically, a pure shot of the object itself if we already know what it is. A shot of me plus the object if I don't know what the object is. Of course, it will start out quite rough around the edges, but once I understand how everything goes, that's when I can rely on cinematics for the flow of the narrative from one scene to the next. Of course, utilizing vector lines to the primary subjects. I'm probably going to rely on comedic sound effects, and then of course, in the intro, as things are a bit more unknown and I think a bit more funny in a way, I'm going to use more comedic sound effects, things that aren't actually real, almost as if it's quite animated. So like, you know, sound effects like these. So midway through the shoot, when we actually meet Archie, but that's the YouTuber that I'm talking about, ArchieYT. So once we meet him, I think a primary theme is the contrasting characters between me and Ollie, who have the nice luxurious setup and like I just chill with it, versus ArchieYT, who's just filming an extreme in the forest, building a shelter video. I think playing into that contrast with our dialogue, the shots as well, showing a parallel between what he's doing versus what we're doing. Of course, I'll also be helping him film for his own video. Furthermore, sort of having funny conversations throughout the entire time. I think audiences will appreciate that. Otherwise, there's no point talking about something just very bland. Sort of no establishing shots of things that we haven't seen yet. I think things should be revealed the more that I discover the forest. Of course, utilizing color theory a bit. Shots with flat color will be more insignificant, and that shots with lots of color have a lot of significance to them. I don't know what that means right now. For when I'm starting to feel a bit more sentimental with the whole thing, like I'm having a lot of fun just sitting back and sort of reflecting on it, I think I will apply a bit of magical realism in a way. I don't know how I'll do that. Maybe a few creative shots like cloning myself. That's one that comes to mind right now, but could be something else. Maybe making myself fly. I still don't know how I would do that, but it's just in my mind. I want to do it. I want to make myself fly. So, because like, you know, just taking in the environment. Oh, so much so I just get lifted into the heavens. That's sort of showing my mind off. I'm just saying a lot of things and hoping that it makes sense to the camera. This is going to be a real pain to edit. I'm not looking forward to it. So now on to the third aspect, which I'm not a big fan of. But since we've done all this work so far in the storyboarding and style, I think we're about like halfway there already. Not even, we're about like three quarters of the way there. Packaging. Now, I'm not going to bother even like writing it down because I do have the idea in my head. And as much as people think like, yeah, you should probably like research on YouTube what thumbnails work, I'm going to do that afterwards, man. Like, I have the idea in my head and it's good enough to actually take the photo when I'm there in person. And I think the title can also be worked on as time progresses. But for the time being, I do have a good base idea. So playing into the theme of how a YouTuber is in the forest with me, that's how I'm going to title the video. Stuck in the forest with a YouTuber. But not like stuck in the forest with a YouTuber, but stuck in the forest with a YouTuber. Like how a YouTuber is like someone that is like crazy, will go to the absolute extreme to do things. Not saying Archie's anything like that, but I think comedically speaking, playing into that in a way, into that outrageous nature. And I can sort of maybe do a parallel through the thumbnail, sort of having me versus him, like a close head of me, like sort of shocked, and then him in the background like going in his like little shelter, just sort of showing that contrast between me and him. And how I'm kind of just stuck with him. That's how I'm going to package the video. I think it's... What am I saying, man? This is really just a stream of consciousness. This is really what this video is, a stream of consciousness. Now, to something a bit more objective, the fourth form of preparation, or the fourth step of preparation, and that is charging your gear. Yeah, that'll do. So thanks for watching. This daily vlog kind of sucked, but you gotta do one every single day, so see you tomorrow.